YouTube. So it's been a little while since I've made a video. I keep saying this every time I make a video. Something that I wanted to discuss today was just sort of a random topic that I was talking to actually a couple friends about recently, about macros and counting and finding balance and sort of what that looks like for me, and dealing with criticism that comes along with changing your lifestyle, becoming more healthy, making decisions for yourself to either start on a new fitness journey, start training more, start counting your macros. This really can apply to anything, but it has to do with dealing with the criticism that kind of comes along with that, and how to deal with it, and maybe some ways to think about it so you don't let it bother you so much. So when I first started out in my fitness journey, I definitely received a lot of criticism. I was a track athlete in high school. I dealt with some bullying on the track team in high school, mainly resulting from my perspective. I had a very different work ethic than the majority of people on the team. So from a young age, my athletic pursuits were always a little bit out of the norm and a little bit different from what most people my age were doing. So I did experience criticism even in high school when I was 16, 17 years old. However, when I started in my fitness journey, and I used to follow clean eating, used to follow that sort of restrictive diet. And then when I transitioned into flexible dieting, I also did notice the same sort of criticism follow that. And, people telling me, why are you so into weightlifting? Why are you so obsessed with it? Why are you obsessed with your body? Why are you obsessed with tracking? Seems to be a pretty common word and a favorite one of a lot of people to criticize what you're doing. The majority of criticism comes from people who simply just don't really understand why you would want to pursue, a healthier lifestyle or count macros. Aren't you happy just being normal? That's something that I used to get a lot. Why can't you just be happy living an everyday, today life and just working out to be semi-fit? Why do you have to work out every day? I'm sure a lot of you, if you're dealing with this, you get questions from your friends. Why you're in shape? Why do you need to work out? Why do you need to count your macros? Why are you taking your scale? That's obsessive. That's whatever. So I wanted to address, just in a quick video, a couple things about just dealing with some criticism and some ways to think about it. Come out on the other side of it and not let it affect you so much. First, in my fitness journey, and I first started to lift weights, it was don't bulk up. You don't want to look like a man. You don't want to get big muscles, etc. Now once I transitioned into flexible dieting, I started weighing my food. I started finding more balance in my life. Then, I thought, oh, well, there'll be less criticism because I'm eating, more normal foods. Well, actually, that's not really true. Anything you do in life, if you're doing something and you're pursuing excellence, you're going to get criticized. I think that's something important to realize, is that every single person on this planet has an opinion. And it's important not to try to let that opinion affect your life so much, because there's so many people in this world. I mean, think about how many people there are in your life that maybe touch your life in some way: co-workers, friends, family, etc. Who are the people that really matter in your life, and whose opinion should you be taking extremely seriously? It's definitely not random comments on Instagram or random comments on Facebook, or people that, even some of your friends that maybe don't understand why you want to pursue something. If you spend all of your time listening to other people's opinions, that's all you'll do. When you're counting macros and you're maybe transitioning from clean eating to flexible dieting, is this idea of balance. And a lot of people throw that term out there and say, well, if you count your macros, that's not balance because it becomes obsessive. If you are flexible dieting and you take your scale to a restaurant, that's not balance because you're not enjoying life. What you really need to realize is that balance looks different for every single person. For me, balance right now, I can go out to a restaurant and I can have a meal and I can estimate my macros and feel really good about it. And I track every single day. And that's balance to me. That works for my lifestyle. I came from a place where I used to struggle with binging. I used to struggle with being underweight at one point too. So counting macros allowed me the freedom to be able to eat foods that I enjoyed, to be able to have a consistent marker so I can track my progress so I know where I am in the day. For me, that works. For other people, they might not like tracking. They might find it restrictive. I know when I followed a clean eating diet, I wanted those foods that were restricted for me. So in dealing with criticism, I know it can be hard, especially if your friends say, or family or friends don't understand why you're weighing out your food or why you aren't eating a certain way, why you might be doing things a little bit differently. For each person, what works for you will be different. So I would also encourage those who maybe look at some of their friends and say, well, you're taking your scale to the restaurant, that's not balanced, you need to live. Well, for that person, they might be pursuing macros, they might be pursuing a healthy lifestyle. Taking a scale to the restaurant might actually enable them to be able to go to that restaurant. You don't know where they've been in the past. There was a point in my life where I couldn't even go to an event, couldn't go to a restaurant without having these thoughts of binging, without these thoughts of that I was going to overeat and completely blow my macros, once I transitioned to macros, blow my diet. So maybe taking a scale is actually something that enables me to have balance in my life. Now at this point in my life, I do not take a scale. Occasionally I take a scale, like if I'm on prep or something to a restaurant and weigh out my food. But right now I don't because I'm reverse dieting and it's a little bit more flexible. But if someone decides to take a scale to a restaurant, and that enables them freedom, that enables them peace of mind, then why should we be criticizing it? I think a lot of people throw out the term, oh, they're not balanced, they're obsessed because they're taking that with them. Well, you don't know their dietary history. You don't know where they've come from. I'd say it's a heck of a lot healthier to take your scale to a restaurant, enjoy your meal, be able to track it, than have possibly a binge or, having these restrictive cycles where they're restricting and then binging. It's a lot healthier for maybe an individual to be doing that. So you have to think of each person is different. This idea of balance is going to be different for each person. I know this idea of balance used to be different for me than it is now. I used to not be able to have certain foods in the house because it just brought back these triggers of binging and of just because I used to struggle with binging. And now having certain foods in the house does not bother me. It used to be that when my mom would bake a cake or something, I would tell her I can't have that on the counter. I can't have it out because I knew that it would not be good for me. Now, that's what I needed back then. What I need now is completely different. So there's different points in your life where there's ebbs and flows. Things will not always be constant. So, there was a point in my life where I did need to bring a scale to restaurants all the time. Is that now? No. I think if you're struggling with criticism from other people, you have to realize that every single person has an opinion. And if they make the claim that you're not balanced, that you're not living life, then that's really not an accurate statement, because living life is different to each person. And what enables someone to find balance or happiness, I don't really like the term balance because or a balanced life, because it's so subjective. There's no objective way to determine what's balanced and what's not, because it's going to be different for each person. But if you are allowed more freedom with your diet and you feel happier, then pursue that. Don't let the opinions of others stop you from doing what gives you the most joy and the most happiness. I dealt with a lot of criticism from even my friends for originally pursuing powerlifting, figure, flexible dieting. But it's amazing how once you stick up for what you're doing and you're confident in the path that you're on and you realize what's best for you, people do end up supporting you more than you think. I think it's important for us not to get caught up in the opinions of others and to realize what works best for you. And if you are the best version of yourself, you can be there for others. You know, what does it say? Treat others as you want to be treated, or love others as you love yourself. Well, if you don't love yourself, then you can't love your neighbor. You can't love others. So in finding joy in life and finding balance in whatever you're doing, and finding your balance, then you can be good to other people. So you first need to be good to yourself, and whatever that involves. You know, I have some people who, some clients who maybe tried tracking and it just doesn't work for them, so they prefer to eat intuitively. Now, is that something that you can really do prepping for a contest? No. But is it something that works for other people? Yes. And do I criticize that? Absolutely not. If that's what they want to do and that's what they want to pursue, then they should do that because it gives them joy, it gives them happiness. Now for me, I track macros. If someone criticizes me and says I'm not balanced, well, that's their opinion. I can't let it weigh on me because every single person has an opinion. And you need to focus on being the best version of yourself so you can be the best version of yourself for others and you can help others. And you can't let the opinions of others determine how you think of yourself. So you need to find what works for you, and that's different for every single person. It's not going to be the same for one person as it is from another. Even if you follow a flexible diet, some people are more rigid than others. Some people prefer not to track certain things. You know, there really is no right and wrong. Now for me, I have found a better way for myself that works. Tracking macros and you know, powerlifting and doing minimal cardio. That is what I love. That is what has worked for me. My balance, my life is different from every other person's life. No one has the same, no one is me, no one is Katie. So no one understands fully my story. So if something works for me and they don't understand that, then that's perfectly fine. If someone wants to go out and enjoy a meal without tracking, I have nothing against that at all. But if I want to take my food scale to the restaurant, then, you know, that's my decision too. So, and if it prevents me from having a binge, from, you know, feeling anxious about what I'm eating, then that's enabling me to enjoy life more. So I think that we all need to take the perspective that each individual person's journey is a little bit different. So I hope that this helps some of you, or maybe kind of how I think about dealing with some criticism that comes along with my lifestyle and what I choose to do. So another kitchen log, Katie's Kitchen Log vlog, episode number, what is this, like 6 or something? So I'm actually about to go train this evening. Sometimes I just like to make video logs before I go train. I don't know why. It seems to be the theme recently. So I recently made a Facebook page actually, so I'm a little late to the party, but it's Katie, it's facebook.com/Katie Ann Rutherford, and I'll post the link below, but it's going to be a little bit, I'll be able to post more links, post more full-length videos of my training. I also have a Periscope now. It's under Katie Ann. So as always, you can follow me on my macros, which is where I track all my food. The username is KatieAnn100. My Instagram is KatieAnn100 as well. So I'm getting ready for Raw Nationals right now, which is in about 9 weeks, and I have a warm-up meet actually in 2. So that should be fun. So just a warm-up meet to see if I can make a lower weight class, and if I don't, I'm just going to go for experience with more meet experience and just do a conservative attempts. So super excited. So lots of stuff on the horizon. So All right, thanks guys. Hopefully this was helpful, and I appreciate your feedback. If you want to leave new ideas for future videos, then go right ahead.